Good day, guys, and welcome to another lovely episode with GSJ, your go-to community for both forex, tech, and branding. And today we're going to be diving into the foreign exchange market. What we have on our screen right here is EURUSD, and it's a new week, and a lot of traders are going to be diving into the market, and this is what we are looking at that should happen. What I will be doing if I'm trading in the market. So for every week, every day, and every hour, if you trade by hour and the rest, I'd advise you get into the weekly time frame for a new week. For a new day, get into the daily time frame. For a new month, get into a monthly time frame. I've said that over and over and over again. So let's quickly get to check the 1 week time frame. So what we add here on EURUSD. Okay. Now bi-weekly, I make use of candlestick patterns to determine where exactly I'm going to. Now this was last week candle, and this is this new week that's about starting. Yeah. So as of last week, if I was to trade, I was actually not trading throughout last week, but if I was to trade last week candle, I would be expecting last week to be a bearish week. Why? Because of this candle closed body closure and this very strong rejection leg right here immediately after sweeping this high. It shows a lot of momentum that the sellers will be getting into the market. But surprisingly, throughout last week trade from Monday to Friday, the markets would not trade below this, not trade above the previous week low. Now the question is, what's going to happen here? What should we be planning to do today? No, most times I tell people that if you are trading and you are using the same pattern, especially when you are new to it, once you see this happen within a time frame, you either just wait and wait for a breakout, because you know this is still within a dealing range and price hasn't continued higher or lower yet. But since we're doing this, I'm going to confirm what we should be expecting to do in this new week. So let's go down to our daily time frame. Why is that? We want to see exactly what happened within this weekly candle. Let's see the force that happened and see if we can, and see which area we should be betting our money on. So this is the daily time frame, and what happened within the daily time frame here was, throughout last week, price got to the premium area of last week range and could not trade above. Now looking at this, are we seeing some bullish reaction, or does it look like a bearish reaction? Well, me from my daily time frame, I started looking at the structure that has played out and use that to determine what exactly I'm doing. So let's look here. This is the reaction we got, right? Now for this week, what should we be expecting? If you want to trade on Monday, what area are we looking at? So let's quickly just draw the usuals. Now this was a previous low that was broken with body. So since this was broken with body closure, it was telling us that this high here was strong, of which it got broken above. Now that it's broken above, what do you feel is going on? The old trend have been bullish, and this just confirmed that we are still bullish in the trend. Now, so this is a bust. Break of structure that has been a bust, and we just marked this guy out here as a demand zone. All right. This will be our bullish demand zone, which is at the far end of these are bullish demand zone. Now, this zone right here, we can see a space here. This is a fair value gap. Let's highlight that as well. Okay, so right in between is an FVG, not FVH, an FVG, and that is known as a fair value gap. And so seeing this, what we expect price to be attracted to fair value gaps, you get, and this is just a demand zone resting right below it. So price, we could expect this price to move down here, get to this zone, and probably give us a continuation upward. And all these are within the discounted area of the dealing range right now. So I'm just going to leave that there for us to see both the discounted area. This is the premium, this is the discount. So we are still in the discounted area here, and the FVG is basically resting right within it. So let's clear this guy out here so we don't really get confused too much lines. All right. Okay. Now that I've done this, what else are we looking at? This high that was broken. What was the last low that created? What was the low that created this particular internal low right here? A little bit above equilibrium again. Now, what happened when price got to this area? Price swept below it and closed above. This is not a break because it's just a wick that is showing right there. So this is a sweep, not a break. So I'm tagging that as a sweep right now. As a sweep, not a break. All right. Okay. So seeing that this is a sweep, and now if this is a sweep, means this high here is weak, right? And when price are approaching to this zone, it can be very skeptical about what we should do, if we should either place a trade or not, because it's a weak zone. But then again, this high here, let's still mark this guy out. I do understand it is a weak zone, yes, but it's a far end within a range here. So we can mark this here. Let me take only the week. Let me take only the week. All right. Let's take only the week and just call this supply. All right. Now let's take that as our supply zone. Naturally, there's always meant to be like a nice fair value gap to confirm it, to keep going. There's no fair value gap here, but I do have a big feeling that there will be a little bit of fair value gap here within the 4 hours time frame. That's what I feel. I'm not too sure though. We'll go down to the 4 hours time frame very soon. So looking at this is what we have at the moment. This far end zone, then the supply zone, and where with all this looks like okay, price is basically bullish, right? But now do they tell you that you could not sell down here into more discounted area before price could take off? From this zone, you will say that this right here is built in an internal liquidity for this little guy right here, and price just peaked at it. Yeah. Now will price come back and come and like mitigate it? There's a big possibility of price coming to mitigate this zone properly, but mostly if it's going to mitigate this zone and respect it, it's most likely going to sweep below it because of the FVG within it, then go back up. But right now, I'm just going to look at this whole area as liquidity. All right. Now, why am I calling that a liquidity? Just from our end, that's like a trap that someone's going to get into. Okay, I like to see price trade below that, tap either the FVG or the demand zone before going upward, and I must see some kind of confirmation within these zones in order to take a trade. All right, so let's go to the 4 hours and what's going on. So these are 4 hours, and there wasn't really much going on that last week actually. I think this is actually last week Monday, or damn, market was actually ranging. Thank God I was not on the trade. I was not in market, so I'm not. All right, so let's adjust this a little bit. So there's a little bit of fair value gap, as I said, and we can pick this guy here as a point of interest. Yep. This guy can be a point of interest right here. Not forgetting that the supply zone right now is still taking, at the moment, is still being looked at as weak because of its swept below, even on 4 hours time frame. This was a sweep and not a break. So for this to start looking strong, is at least let this low be broken out, and when I start saying okay, price seems to be coming downward, and the moment this last low is taken out completely, that is a full change of channel, and we're like price has completely changed and we should be expecting some more downtrends. Well, now since it's our point of interest right here, if price is doing something like this, I'm not one to basically just set an entry right here. I'm basically someone that will still wait and see what price does when price get there. So you might say, okay, I'm smart. I won't really call that because it makes me miss a lot of entry actually. So depending on the kind of trade that you are, you can place an entry here or you can wait just to confirm further. And this is meant to be, this is the 4 hours time frame, yeah. And if from our end, I'll be liking to see how I can short price to within this zone and see what happens and keep shorting. All right, I will actually not even go for a buy yet, basically, even within the bullish trend. And I'll most likely be dealing with the most recent trend, which is this guy here. Even though it is weak, even though this eye is weak, I like to see what is happening here. And this is within discount. Whatever thing that plays out here within the 1 hour time frame can be bought into this zone. But you know you are like scalping and not like trying to hold for a long run, because there's a very big possibility of price taking out this low, because all these zones here are basically just hanging liquidity. These lows here could be wiped out just to mitigate this gap, because there's a fair value gap within this, and this guy did sweep this low and swept this particular low before going upward. So I would basically name that guy right there my bullish point of interest. This is my bullish point of interest. So this is POI. Okay, and that's that for EURUSD. So do let me know if you like to have more analysis, what you think about this analysis, and tell me whatever. Okay, let's check the 1 hour time frame a little bit and see. For the 1 hour time frame, guys, we'll trade. But who trades 1 hour time frame? So let me remove that indicator so it doesn't spoil our eyesight. Okay. Now we do understand that price is overall bullish, and even based on the most recent trade, it's showing us bearish, and on 1 hour it's following that direction of price is very bearish. So what do you think we could do right here? Even looking at this 1 hour chart, as you said, we could set some buys, because looking at this zone here, this guy should be taken out. Sorry. This is liquidity hanging within below this guy here, which price could come and mitigate. Now, as I said, I'm not one to just set an entry. I'm thinking of trying that presently, but I'm not one to just set an entry actually. I love to see what price does. And why should I pick this as an order block to trade from? Well, this was the low that created this movement. So the price break within it, yeah, it did at this zone here. A lot of touch, but it broke above it, and it actually created a whole lot of liquidity. And price did this. Then this low failed to even give us a new high. So there's big possibility of this low being taken out, then mitigating this and giving us a reaction. Now the reaction doesn't mean it will come all the way here. It could actually just give us a little bit of reaction, then swiping us downward, or taps us in for people to feel we are going back up, then come back and probably mitigate someone around this area. Because this is a bullish POI right here. This is the 4 hours POI right here. You could also mark this guy out as a POI if you are trying to force an entry. If you are like, no man, I must trade, I just have to trade. But I'll call this a minor POI, because There's a long range of fair value gap right there. I'll call this a minor POI. Yeah, I think that is befitting. I think that's befitting to record a minor POI. And price could tap this, then go further, then come for this other minor demand POI. So let's call this a minor POI, but this is for the bullish area. So just tell me what you think and let me know. So this is how you do top-down analysis and just keep flowing and knowing exactly where you're at and why you're trading the way you're trading. Overall time frame is bullish, but doesn't stop you from selling at some exact range. Because we're looking at 1 hour, 1 hour is basically screaming, I'm bearish, I'm bearish, I'm bearish. But the overall time frame is like it's still at premium, and we could start seeing some bullish legs once we go a little bit below this guy. From this area, we can start seeing some strong bullish moves, and you'll be like, what's going on? Didn't price close above below this, and what's going on? Anything could happen. Just stay safe out there while trading and be very cautious. Okay, you have a lovely day. My name is Gray, and this is GSG.